Do you feel it? The excitement in the air as we're about to find out what's hidden behind there. Are we in for a scare, a monster that we might not dare fight through fury and flame, for fear that we may get maimed and lose an arm and a leg and another leg? And why am I still talking? I'm so sorry about your limbs. Anyway, hello fellow Sunbreak hunters all. Today is very exciting because tomorrow is very exciting because tomorrow we find ourselves, well, finding out more for Title Update 2. Likely another monster reveal, and who knows what beyond that? Well, nobody knows, but I'm going to attempt to know via the power of guessing for the fun of it with you guys, because that's goddamn what we do here. So first and foremost, what do we already know? Well, exactly one thing. Flaming Espinas.
That smile. That damn smile.
Of which I am suitably pumped for. Essentially, just, Frontier's orange-brown Espinas subspecies given a proper translation and indeed relocation to mainline and Sunbreak and made ever so much more beautiful. And in doing so, further reinforcing the feeling of, let's be honest,
well, if it isn't our old friend.
But I don't want to retread those tracks too much. I made an entire video dedicated to just how much, well, Sunbreak feels like it is frontiering, and that is no bad thing, but it is certainly interesting. Sadly, though, that frontier vein doesn't really help us with what is yet to be revealed, because the only information we have to go on is a silhouette. So who will be joining Flaming Espinas? And God, I cannot wait to see just how potent his big super fireball of poison fire death is in Sunbreak now. I imagine it's going to look beautiful. We see him do it in the trailer for him, and of course we can see the direct comparison with brown orange Espinas in Frontier itself. It really is going to be excellent, but as I said, don't want to retread too much. Let's see what we can work out about Title Update 2. So of course the place to start is this Mizutsune silhouette. I mean, it could be anything silhouette, of course. I mean, it could definitely be any given shape. And look, I am all up for a wild card. I am all up for this being a massive bait and switch. My word, I really, really am. But look, you can just see it, can't you? Especially this one little spot here. That is so unbelievably a Mizutsune fin, and it's hard to, well, think otherwise. And if you need any more proof of that, have a look at this lovely illustration by Mr. Lagia Hunter on Twitter. It's really kind of a slam dunk in my mind, though that said, drawing lines like this is a way to sway any given what if. You can quite literally connect the dots where perhaps dots aren't, but also, I mean, yeah. You kind of see. We all know, don't we? We're all looking at this and thinking Mizutsune, and again, I will very much re-stress a surprise out of nowhere, of course, would not be unwelcome, but at the same time, a new Mizutsune would certainly still be welcome. We know that in this updated roadmap screen that we have available to us, that it only says powered up monsters and rare species. To me, then, that implies that is the two things that we need to kind of try and come up with an answer for. They are the main things here. Which is the rare species monster, and what does powered up monsters mean? Well, the rare species, again, is pretty succinctly probably going to be the silhouette, which is probably Mizutsune, but that in itself is very exciting. A rare species Mizutsune. We have not had a new rare species in a long time, not since Molten Tigrex back in the 4th gen, and even then there is only 5 rare species in general. Gold, Rathian, Silver Rathalos, Abyssal Lagiacus, Lucent Nagakuga, which we now have, and said Molten Tigrex. So adding a 6 to that illustrious, incredible group that very much is potent Elder Dragon level, very special monsters, is, well, a very special thing to have happen. So make no mistake, this will be a big deal. And let's be real here, every single rare species we have ever gotten has been an incredible experience, both to hunt and to wear its skin in the form of armor. Why did I not just say armor straight away? Why add in the wear its skin? Because I like wearing monster skin, okay? Anyway, let's push that back down, forget that happened, and continue my point in that, yes, every rare species is an incredible monster that is memorable in every aspect of its being. So applying that to fated form Mizutsune, our Bubble Maestro, is wonderfully exciting. Imagining the directions you could go, imagining the unique armor skills we could get, imagining just the aesthetic. Obviously, we've had Mizutsune and we've had Deviant Solcia, but that's kind of had the white, the pink, and that's about that. So we could really be looking at anything here. And of course, element is a big question. We've got bubbles. I imagine soap will still play a part. That's kind of Mizutsune's identity. Even Molten Tigrex Fiery still charges. And the rare species don't tend to completely flip too much. They tend to enhance what's already there. The biggest difference between base and rare is Tigrex to Molten. So in any case, will we get enhanced super water Mizutsune? Will we get a more Solcia-esque fiery bubble Mizutsune? Will we get that thunder bubble Mizutsune? Perhaps a take on, yes, Monster Hunter Explores thunder bubble Mizutsune that has magnetic attraction bubbles that once one hits you, the others start homing towards you, and that's really badass, and it's also a really stark, colourful, beautiful Mizutsune to look at with the electric blues. Hell, even an ice bubble Mizutsune I think would be very cool, and I think it's hard to imagine that no matter what they add, it's going to be pretty good. Fire Mizutsune is obviously quite an easy choice, as we have Apex Mizutsune in the game that already has the flame bubbles, so they can use those assets, and while a Fire Mizutsune may be initially to you, oh, a fire monster, really? If we got Molten Tigrex out of nowhere, I guarantee you no one would be like, oh, fire monster, really? We'd all be like, yes! 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 Because, again, rare species are incredible. So, for me, no matter what this Mizutsune ends up, and knowing Capcom, knowing how good they are at bringing monsters into beautiful life, well, I know, for one, it is going to be a really memorable experience, and I am very excited. So, yeah. Definitively, let's be honest, if I had to lay my money down, it would be, of course, a rare species Mizutsune, and I would have to say using a element, and I would like to say, if I had to commit, I'm still feeling that thunder vibe, but that might be a little bit ambitious. Then we look at powered up monsters. This one is easy to label as the next round of Afflicted. But when it comes to the next round of Afflicted, well, what's that going to actually look like? Obviously, it might end up being the A6s, and that's, of course, fair enough. But is it really going to be, like, Elder Dragon level already? Can Elder Dragons even get afflicted? That's a big question. We know that Elder Dragons weren't allowed to be frenzied, as they simply have too powerful of a biology and can fight it off too effectively. So if they can be afflicted, that would imply the Blood Blight is a stronger affliction than, well, Frenzy, which is also a big deal in of itself. So whatever happens in that regard will tell us a lot about the order of things when it comes to both the Frenzy and Blood Blight, and how it operates as an environment ecology ravaging plague-like factor on the Monster Hunter world. And while that might not be a oh yeah, woo yay for a lot of people, for me, yeah, that's the stuff. The thing is, there's not that many monsters left in the game that aren't afflicted and aren't Elder Dragons. And I think that's a pretty easy group to target for this title update 2, when we know that title update 3 is around the corner. So you could save the Elder Dragons and what happens with them, if anything, for Title Update 3, and in Title Update 2, we basically have every monster that hasn't got an Afflicted form and isn't an Elder Dragon, there's their Afflicted. So Scorned Magna, Rajang, Furious Rajang, Pyrarachna, and Espinas, of course, maybe even Flaming Espinas straight away, all of those kind of middle grounds that haven't really got one yet. That, I think, is a fairly easy thing to say when it comes to powered up monsters, and I think it would be ambitious to think anything further. And then when we look at perhaps the greater scope of the update, and they're going to throw like another curious crafting level thing at us, I feel like that would be probably too much too soon. Yet another like grind or system to learn and master and explore. Perhaps a pause, a breather before more of that. But then again, knowing Capcom, I wouldn't be surprised, and I certainly wouldn't complain either. It's lots to do. Having updates that's like, here's the Kulv and all the weapons and that, here's the Safi and all the weapons and that works, here's the curious crafting and how that works. It gives a kind of anchor point for the update and the main system you're interacting with, so that is certainly something to think about. But yeah, I think that is kind of where we're going with this. But then again, it's entirely possible there's more than 2 monsters. Of course there is. It says several other monsters, several obviously meaning at least 3 in all normal definitions. So is there a mystery third going to come out of nowhere that no one could have expected? That is certainly possible and very much Capcom's MO, and honestly, I love them for it. So there are my thoughts. What are you guys' hopes, predictions? What are you thinking? And, well, let me know. Like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below. And until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.